Alrighty, you guys ready? Okay, I want to appreciate and I thank all you guys for coming out on such short notice to this presser. I'm going to introduce Chief David Neslight.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. First, I want to start out by saying at this time, there appears to be no direct correlation or nexus to the Rock and Roll Marathon and this incident that we responded to. I also want to make sure everybody understands there's nobody outstanding, that this scene is completely safe, but you will still see officers out there for quite some time as we go through and process this crime scene. I also want to talk about the injured officer. Received a lot of well wishes, a lot of texts about how the officer is doing, and I'm happy to report that he is out of surgery. The officer is doing well and expected to make a full recovery, and I will visit him later in the hospital. As you can imagine, this is a very fast and evolving situation that officers reported to or responded to this afternoon, and I'm very pleased to say that that suspect has been apprehended and is now in custody here at headquarters. This incident started about 10:45 by a San Diego police officer being flagged down by a victim of a hit-and-run accident that happened at West A Street and Kettner. I now will introduce Captain Mike Hastings from our Homicide Division that will go into more of those details. Thanks. Thanks, Mike.
Good afternoon. I am Mike Hastings, H-A-S-T-I-N-G-S. I'm a captain with the San Diego Police Department's Homicide Unit. As you're aware, the Homicide Unit responds to officer-involved shootings, whether they're misses or hits. The Homicide Unit does these investigations, so it's nothing out of the ordinary that the Homicide Unit is involved with this case. I'm going to start at the beginning and try to give you some particulars on what we believe has occurred. Again, please keep in mind this investigation is ongoing. We're very, very early on. Things change, as we know, as facts end up getting revealed. And so please keep that in mind as we go through this fact pattern that I'm about to give you. At about 10:45 hours, a person flagged down a San Diego police sergeant who was working the Rock and Roll Marathon. They're reported to being a victim of a hit and run at West A Street and Kettner Boulevard. They also pointed to a vehicle leaving the area and identified it as a suspect vehicle. The sergeant followed the suspect vehicle to the A Street entrance to the city parkade. The suspect vehicle, a white Honda, was prevented from entering the parkade because of another vehicle being ahead of it. The sergeant walked up to the driver's side of the vehicle, and the suspect pointed a handgun at the sergeant. At about the same time, the suspect vehicle was clear to enter the parkade and did so. A team was assembled, and a member of that team headed up to contact the suspect. However, unexpectedly, that officer had a discharge of his weapon. That officer was transported to a local hospital and is being treated at this time. While all of this is going on, an officer saw the suspect still armed and on the upper level of the concourse. The officer fired but missed the suspect. A short time later, the suspect threw her gun down to the street, and she was taken into custody a few moments later by responding officers. We are working with Chula Vista PD at this time. As you were, Chief Neslight talked about, Chula Vista had an attempt kidnapping in their city prior to this incident unfolding here in San Diego. We're trying to ascertain if this is the same suspect that we have that committed that crime in their city. They have detectives on scene at their crime scene, and we hope to know that later on this evening.